Beginnings, continuations, and the work of real science. Voorname, nachname. I read your line that even if we knew nothing at all about abiogenesis, we could still prove evolution. You packed a lot into that one sentence. You made a strong claim about what science can do, but you did not show any part of the scientific method. There is no question, no test, no data, and no way to check what you said. So in that form, it is not science. It is an opinion about science. What your claim really implies. When you say that evolution stands even if we know nothing about abiogenesis, you are really saying that the beginning of life does not matter to the story. That might feel true inside a naturalist worldview where you just assume some first living thing and move on. But as soon as you slow down and ask how a complete natural story of life should look, you see a problem. A full natural story needs a beginning and a continuation. If you remove either part, the story breaks. Why abiogenesis? Still matters. Abiogenesis is the study of how life could arise from non-living matter through natural processes. If you want a world with no creator and only natural causes, you must have some path that takes you from chemistry to the first cell. Without that step, your chain has no first link. In that case, your natural story of life has no beginning. You can talk about change in living things as much as you like, but you have not explained how life started. So your comment treats abiogenesis as an optional side topic, when in fact in a pure natural account it is foundational. No beginning, no full story. Evolution and the problem of continuation. In the same natural story, evolution is the name for the process that carries life forward. It is supposed to explain how that first simple cell became the vast range of plants, animals, and people. Without any mechanism at all for change, the natural story has no continuation. So there is a logical pair here. Without abiogenesis, there is no beginning. Without some real and tested process for change, there is no continuation. If you want to claim that a complete natural account stands firm, then both parts matter at the level of logic. Proof, evidence, and the scientific method. You also used the word prove. In strict science, we do not use proof in the same way as mathematics. Science builds models that are tested and always open to revision. When someone says we can prove evolution, even if we know nothing about abiogenesis, they are mixing everyday talk with scientific language. To move from opinion to science, you need to show clear steps. You need a defined question, a hypothesis that can fail, measurements, and tests. A one-sentence comment with no data and no defined test does not meet that standard. As written, your claim shows none of those steps, so it does not go anywhere inside the method. Opinion posed as science. Right now, your line reads like this. You have a strong trust in evolution, so you declare it stands even if a whole field of origin research is empty. That is not the voice of the method. That is the voice of personal belief. A scientist could say that current evidence for certain kinds of evolutionary change comes from fossils, genetics, and observed shifts in populations. Then they could explain how those lines of evidence were gathered and tested. That would at least move toward the method. Your comment does not even try to do that work. It skips straight to the conclusion. Where evidence is missing, method fails. The scientific method does not punish people for having beliefs. It simply marks off what counts as a scientific claim. If there is no proposed test, there is no science. If there is no way for the claim to fail, there is no science. If there is no actual evidence laid out for others to inspect, there is no science. Your sentence gives no test, no possible failure, and no evidence. So, whatever you may believe about evolution, that one sentence does not pass a single step in the method. It stays in the realm of unsupported statement. Control of the story. Instead of open inquiry. There is another issue hidden in comments like yours. They carry an implied rule for the discussion. The rule sounds like this. Evolution is settled no matter what you say about the origin of life. Abiogenesis can fail for 100 years, and evolution still wins in every debate. That puts evolution in a place that is no longer open to serious question. Once you frame things that way, you are not inviting investigation. You are using the name of science to keep control of the story. Any challenge to the beginning is told to sit in the corner, while the middle chapters are declared untouchable. Closing my response. Voorname nachname. I am not attacking you as a person. I am looking at the form of what you wrote. You gave a strong defense of evolution in one short line, but you did not offer the work that science demands. A full natural story of life needs a beginning in abiogenesis and a continuation in some process of change. Without both, the logic of the story fails. Your sentence gives neither evidence nor method. It gives a conclusion that rests on your trust in a theory and uses that trust to close the door on the deeper question of origins. That is not how real science should work. Thanks for watching Waithing. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment to support the channel.